Pretty quiet here so far today. Nobody in the chat yet. Dog's going crazy downstairs though. Hey, Robbie. How are you? Not a whole lot. I don't know. I guess everybody's busy today. Usually at least a few more people have jumped on here by now. So, what's that? You launched your channel yet? Game day. Who plays today? But it's not Sunday. NFL plays on Sunday. And of course, I'm a diehard NFL fan, so. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Fun fact. My mom went to Oklahoma. My dad went to Oklahoma State. So, matter of fact, just about everybody on my mom's side of the family, both of my parents are from Oklahoma City. And just about everybody on my mom's side of the family all went to OU. And my dad went to OSU. And, then of course I grew up in Texas, so I was a UT fan. So, there was nothing but, rivalries in my family growing up. Oh, boy. Yeah, exactly. Bedlam. That's exactly what it was. So, but yeah, OU, my mom's side of the family especially, OU football is a big deal. I mean, a big deal. Are they playing right now? I wonder. OU football is a big deal. So. Robbie Stingle on YouTube. Cool, man. Post a link there in the chat, and we'll tell everybody to go have a look-see. Hey, there's Park Kingery. What's up, dude? $6:30 tonight. Okay. We're hosting Thanksgiving this year, so as soon as I'm done hanging out here with you guys, I gotta go put a piece of furniture together. And if you don't know this yet, my house flooded this past summer, and between it's been a long process. And all the repairs are finally done, and we're just everything's just about done, except we had to we got to remodel a few things. Anyway, it requires a new piece of furniture. The first one that they shipped us was broken, so we've been waiting a couple 3 weeks for the replacement to finally show up. It just got here this morning, so I got to put that thing together, and there's a lot of headaches. So. OBSG. Hey, Robert, long time no see. Yeah, I've been back doing this here about, I don't know, what's this, the third week in a row, I guess. We'll see how long keep it going this time. I don't anticipate doing it again for, a year straight or something like that. Like I did last time. Honestly, it just, that interest kind of seems to die off pretty quick. So, not sure how to post a link. Well, I'll tell you what, let's see if I can find it. Robbie Stingle. Although, might be, no, well, let me do that. Robbie Stingle. There it is. 84 subscribers. So, everybody, I'm posting a link in the chat there for Robbie's new YouTube channel. So, I encourage you all to go check it out. Robbie used to work for Kramer Guitars, I believe. And was familiar, but like back in the 80s, when Eddie Van Halen was with Kramer. I don't know how involved he wasn't in some of those processes, but he sure knows a hell of a lot about them. So guys, there's Robbie's a link to Robbie's channel there in the chat. And while we're at it, oh, come on. There we go. We'll plug Janice's channel there as well. Her link to her channel is now down in the chat as well. So you guys have been kind enough to support me over the years. Go, the least I can do is plug a few of their channels. So. Let's see. Big Cole's here. What's up, dude? Park King, are you dealing with a head cold? That sucks, dude. Not fun. Not fun. There's been a nasty flu of some kind going around, man. I mean, I've heard a lot of people that just get brutalized by that thing right now. Like, here in Indiana, I think, they had to alert the CDC, because there's that many people that have caught it. And I came down with something a few weeks ago. I know it wasn't COVID. Never tested positive for COVID, but whatever it was brutal. I don't know if it was that flu or not either. It didn't seem to be quite that bad, but I don't know. Voodoo Custom Pickups is here. What's up, Rich? Wife's been home with the Rona all week. I've heard a few people that got the Rona too. I've been emailing back and forth with a company here recently, and the contact I've been emailing back and forth with, kind of went radio silent for a couple of weeks, and he finally got back with me. He said he had COVID and a few other some other stuff going on. So, no fun. I've had COVID once, and I managed to go like the first 2.5 years, or 2+ years anyway, without catching it. I finally got it, and it sucked. I don't miss that. Voodoo. Yeah, Rich makes some pretty awesome pickups, man. If you go check out my demo of his of the Tesseract pickup, I don't think you've turned that one into a production model yet. The one that I have, I think, is still a prototype, and that might be all that's there. But hopefully you turn it into a production model pretty soon, because that thing's pretty cool. First time I had it knocked me on my ass. Second time was like a small cold. Yep, I don't know, man. I've only had it once, and that was plenty. Yankee Peters says, "What's your take on compressor pedals? If you use them, do you have a favorite?" I don't use compression or compressor pedals, really. And the reason why is because I tend to play with a fair amount of gain anyway. The compression pedals are almost useless. Every time I've been told, one or two people say, "Oh, they're great for metal," but I've only heard that from a very few people, and every time I've tried it, all it did was was muddy up the signal. I'm not a compressor pedal kind of guy. That said, moving over to the other side of the counter, when I am recommending, when a customer comes to me and says I need a compression pedal, usually the first one that I always recommend is the Keeley 4-knob compressor. Nowadays, what do they call it? I think nowadays they call it the Compressor Plus. It used to just be called the 4-knob compressor, but they renamed it to the Compressor Plus. It's the same pedal though. And it's as compressor pedals go, that's arguably the best one on the market. It has been for a long time. The side note, the Boss CS3 compressor sustainer is also still pretty popular too. So, you can pick those up pretty cheap on the used market. So, but as compressors go, no, I mean, I think really the only I've got the TC Electronic Force Field out of their Smorgasbord series, when they were still $50. Now they're like 70, but at the time they were like $50. I think that might be the only compressor pedal that I own. Yeah, just not a compressor guy. Robbie Stingle says, yippee-ki-yay. We will be watching that movie here about another month. A little more than that. I got my wife hooked on Die Hard for Christmas as a holiday tradition now. So Lauren G says Dynacomp. Dynacomp is that's another compressor pedal that's been around for eons. It's been a few different. I mean, it's pretty much always been the same pedal, though. MXR's come out with a few different versions of it now. But just the good old fashioned Dynacomp, that's been out forever. Is not a bad one. They had a custom shop. Oh, let me see if I can find. I think the custom shop compressor. Maybe is just what it was called. Let me see if I can find it. I used to sell that one a lot at the store. Now I've got one now called the Studio Compressor, the M76 Studio Compressor. That one looks pretty cool. That one looks along the lines like the M300 Reverb and that series of pedals, those are all cool. Then they got the Super Comp, MXR Super Comp. That one looks like that's $100 version. Dynacomp Deluxe. There's the Keeley 4-knob. Custom shop. Yep, custom shop compressor is a used one. It might not be available anymore. That used one's $55 on Reverb. That's not a bad deal. For my money, I would probably go with, of all the ones I'm looking at from MXR anyway, the M228 Dynacomp Deluxe looks to be the best bang for your buck. I mean, it looks to be kind of along the lines of like the Phase 95, $100 or so, and and it's got 4 versions of that pedal on the inside of it or something. So, and now they have the deep phase. I guess I need to check that one out. I don't know what the difference is. All right, that's it. I'm done shopping for pedals for the time being. Phew. Had the flu type B a few weeks ago. Terrible cough. Voodoo Custom Pickup says, when are we getting a compression pedal from Park? That's the important question. That is a good question. Park, when you plan on giving us a compression pedal? Robbie Stingle says, just bought an 85 ESP reverse banana grail, 1-piece quarter saw neck. Wow. Nice. Very nice. Those old 80s ESPs are pretty sweet, man. Park says, I don't know, I have so many pedals I'm working on. I saw he's working on he posted on Facebook earlier this week that he's working on what looked to be a Dumble type of circuit, an overdrive or a distortion or something. Looked like it was based on the Dumble circuit. It looked pretty cool. Robbie Stengel, $1,500 neck for $700. Oh, it was just the neck. I see. Oh, you're building something with it. Okay, I thought it was the whole guitar. Still, you're right. Not a bad deal on it. Will Myers here says, "What's new?" Not a whole lot here for me at the moment. I am not in buying gear right now. I am in paying off. I'm not in buying gear mode right now. I'm in paying off mode. So I'm in paying off mode, and I've got some pretty serious expenses coming up here in the coming months that, quite frankly, are more important than gear purchases. So that is mostly what I'm doing. It's also why I started doing live streams again, just being honest, to boost the views of my channel and hopefully grow it a little bit more. I keep trying to grow it, and it's pretty stagnant lately. I don't know why. Park Kingery says yes to double style overdrive, something different. I will give you credit. That is something, especially compared to everything else that you've done. A double style drive is a little bit different for you, which is cool. So, I'm still waiting for you to come out with a delay. Flux says, I really like the Christmas gift video. That guitar stand's pretty cool. That guitar stand's pretty handy, man. I've used it. I've had it for a year. I don't know, year and a half or 2 years, something like that, and it's come in handy more than once. So, but glad you liked it. There's a few others in that kind of same genre that I've got set to go up here over the coming weeks. So hopefully you enjoy a few more of those as well. They are, 'tis the season, right? Voodoo Custom Pickup says we need a Mesa Mark II preamp pedal or a Mesa Mark IV preamp pedal. Is there any Mesa Mark series preamp pedals anywhere? I mean, the rectifier pedals are everywhere, but any of the Mark series, I don't even know. I don't even think Mesa makes anything like that, do they? Mesa, I mean, Mesa wants you to buy the amp, not their pedals. What's out there for Mesa Boogie pedals these days? I haven't looked at that line in so long. I don't even know what's out there. Throttle box. More throttle box. Gold mine. 5-band tone burst. It's a clean boost. Flux drive, Flux 5. Dynaplex. I need to buy a Mesa. I need to get a hold of a Mesa. I've never owned a Mesa. They've got some good ones out there that I've liked over the years, and I've never bought one. Joyo makes a Mark III preamp. The California, I never knew which amp the California was based on. That was just kind of a general Mesa Boogie sound. which it is that. I've never heard it tied to a specific amp. I guess I just assumed it was it was a dual rectifier like every other Mesa Boogie bass pedal. Robert, are you getting yourself anything special for Christmas this year? A new guitar, amp, pedal? No, I am not. Like I said, I'm actually trying to sell a few things. I'm not in gear buying mode right now at all. I'm trying to sell a few things and get a few things paid off. I've got some personal family expenses coming up. They're pretty hefty that are gonna require my attention for a while. I've been still trying to save up for my Les Paul Custom forever, and it looks like that fund may have to get wiped out for the stuff that I've got coming. So, such is life. That is the way that it works. So, anything that I got, no, so I've got, here's this little Comica 85 recording interface that I'm working on a demo for right now. They sent me that. I got a few other pedals from some companies that I still have to demo. Stuff like that. So. I've had many Mesas, and the Mark IV was my favorite. I've always preferred the Mark series. The Mesa Boogie amps, the Mark series have always been my favorites. I'm actually not much of a rectifier guy. I don't really care for them at all. They're too scooped, and they're too, they're just too flubby, woofy. They're just, I don't hate them. They're great amps. I don't hate them, but they're just not for me. I've always preferred the Mark series amps. That said, they've also put out some other pretty cool, wicked shit over the years that I really like. The Royal Atlantic is a great amp, or was a great amp. I guess it's discontinued now, but the Royal Atlantic and what the hell was the name of that? The Electrodyne. The Electrodyne I really liked, and those are a couple of them off the top of my head. Stilettos were cool. Moore makes some pedals that are alright, modeling Mesa Boogie. Moore makes a lot of good pedals. They've got one or two of them that I really don't care for, but overall they make a lot of pretty good sound pedals. So they've all the those Chinese companies, the Chinese pedal companies. Most of them are all. At least they start out seemingly anyway, cloning other pedals and amps and stuff like that, but they do it really, really well. At least they seem to. Pod Go or Helix? Neither for me. I'm not a processor guy at all. Effect processors are not for me. Really, if from a consumer standpoint, really that question comes down to a couple of things. Really, budget being the big one. The Helix is currently the modeling technology in the Helix is currently Line 6's state of the art top end technology. The Pod Go, I believe, is based off of. It's not based off of the Spider stuff, or maybe it's the latest Spider series, like the Spider 5 technology, which actually is pretty good, but it's not as advanced as the Helix technology. So something in the middle. The Pod Go's what, $500? And 6 Pod Go. Yeah, $499. $499. Looks like $579 if you go the wireless version. Meanwhile, if you go, what is the HX Stomp, which is $649. So what's that? Another $150. Nope, I'm sorry. That's the HX Effects, the HX Stomp. HX Effects is currently $549. HX Stomp is $699, so another couple $100. So you're still probably, what's that? That's still less than half of the Helix. So that said, once you're getting into that kind of price range for the Stomp, I would very, very, very strongly consider the Boss GT1000 Core, which is $100 cheaper, and that one also uses Boss's top end technology that they have in the GT1000. So, which is that's their big $1,500 processor, whatever it is. So, really, that all comes down to, I think, really comes down to a couple things. Comes down to budget, and really, pedal board space. Do you really want that great big giant Helix on your pedal board? If but the flip side of that is you're not going to need much else with it, and and then after that, it's down to which features do you really need and really want. And does the Helix have a bunch of stuff that you really want and you really need, or are you going to end up paying a bunch of money for a bunch of stuff that you're not really going to use? So, diehard governor here. I wish I could find one of the original governor pedals for a decent price. Now people are wanting stupid money for them. Yeah, even the GV2s, the one that I do own, even that one's starting to get way expensive on the used market. Mark Morton used the Royal Atlantic, and I loved it. I can't find one for a decent price now. The Royal Atlantic. I remember I was really, really skeptical when it came out because it was. The Royal. If you're not familiar with those amps, the Royal Atlantic was the 100-watt version of the Transatlantics, which were, I think the Transatlantic started like 15-watt lunchbox heads. And then they came out with a 30-watt version, and they were okay, but I was never really blown away with them. They sounded good for for certain people, but for me, for the most part, they were just real. It was not the most inspiring tone to my ears. Then they came out with the Royal Atlantic, which is the big 100-watt version of those amps. That one had what the others were missing, and that one kicked ass. I haven't seen one in a long time now. What do you think about a drum pedal or module? I have a few of them. I've got the first version of the Beat Buddy Mini, and then I have the actual Beat Buddy itself, and they're pretty cool. They do a lot. There's a lot of stuff going on in those things. They really do. They have a lot in them, but I find they're really, really difficult to control on the fly. Really difficult. And you got to have everything programmed in advance, and and it takes a fair amount of practice. It takes a fair amount of practice to just even to moderately maneuver around one if you're going to try to use it like even a band practice or live situation or anything like that. They have their uses, but for me anyway, for my purposes, stage use ain't one of them. Ryan Brian Hall says, where are you selling stuff at, Robert? Looking for a good deal on a used compressor. Did they make a good compressor in the Hardwire series? I don't think that the Hardwire series had a compressor in it. I could be mistaken, though. All of my stuff right now is currently listed on Facebook Marketplace. And, I've got a few pieces that are listed on eBay. I'm going to add everything else to it here probably today if I can get to it. Reluctantly, I've got a few things listed on Reverb too, but, as much as I hate Reverb, that's not, right now it's important to get rid of that stuff. Flux says Pod Go is based off of Helix. I don't think so, man. Let me look that up. No, yeah. God damn it. Line 6 pots. Pod Go wireless. Line 6 Pod Go. A lot of way. Yada. HX models. And they've got a list with the HX models on their website. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it is. On the other hand, he looks like Helix is a flagship model, highly advanced guitar amp with more effects and better sound quality than the Pod Go. So without getting too directly, too crazy into all the technology, which is, a little over my head anyway, it looks like the Pod Go uses a version of the Helix native, but not the same top end version as the Helix itself. Tony Peppers is here. What's up, man? Good to see you, my man. Another one of my favorite pedal dudes ever. I still can't believe I need a freaking dirty tree. I need to, that thing's badass. I just need one. I'm not asking you to send me one. I'm just telling you I need one. Best boost for high gain amps on the planet. Pretty much, which seems to be pretty much a unanimous decision. A unanimous opinion from pretty much everybody I know that's played one. Wayne Slager says, "Hey, Robert, didn't miss this one." Good, man. Welcome to you. Yeah, nothing. I don't know that you would have missed anything with any of them. We're just chilling here, man. Just hanging. Scott Brockway says, "Just build a clone. You can't play the paint." Also high. That's pretty good, pretty solid advice for a lot of things. Where are we? Thunder Falcons has got a Marshall Governor 2 in the box for $60. That's about what I paid, like $50 or $60 for mine. Maybe a little bit. I might have paid a little more than that. I don't remember, but it was right around there about a year ago. And I had seen. Those things used to sell used for $40 or $50 all day long. And I know we're only talking $10 or $20, but when you're talking used pedals, that's a pretty big jump. Especially a year ago. I mean, they're worth they're selling for like 80 or 100 now. But I remember they used to sell for 40, $50 all day long, and then all of a sudden I couldn't find one anywhere. Then all of a sudden they started popping back up, and then they were selling 60, $70 pretty consistently, and I was like, shit, I really want one. I've been wanting to get one on the channel for a while. I better jump on it now while I can. And I didn't like paying that much at the time, and I'm still not crazy about it. But like I said, compared to what they're selling for now, I'm glad I bought it when I did. Robbie Stingle says I use the original from England. I actually have a backup too. Yeah, like I said, I'd really like to have those. That's basically your JCM 900 in the box, is what that is, or JCM 800 in a box, rather. Helix allows you to use different routing, 2 amps at once, more models overall. Pod Go is just 1 series routing, 1 amp model at a time. Relatively concise description. Holy shit! I had you guys. You guys got muted. I wasn't aware of that. Sorry, man. That sucks. Okay, well, where was I? I guess I don't remember what the last thing you guys heard me say was, but I will. I read Chris Hunter's comment. Said, "Hey Robert, can you tell us more about your 900, your favorite settings, etc.? Thanks. Love the channel." Also, Big Cole, thank you for the super chat. By the way, you guys can also contribute to the channel if you want. You click that little dollar sign there. Probably down at the bottom of the chat, where at least that's where I see it on my screen. And that is greatly appreciated. Like I said, I got to buy an overpriced turkey this week. Anyway. Back to Chris's comment. Can you tell us more about your 900 and your favorite settings, etc.? Love the channel. I posted in the chat, a little bit further down in the chat, I posted a link to my video that I did on that pedal. God, I don't know. 4 years ago, I guess it was. So, you can go check it out. As far as settings go, I don't really look at the knobs when I'm dialing it. I use my ears, and really that's kind of how I tend to dial most amplifiers, but that one in particular. So I mean, I don't really look at the knobs. Honestly, I couldn't tell you where I've got where half of them are set off, from memory. That said, if you watch my video, most of the settings that you see there in that video, pretty much where I keep it set all the time. I very rarely make any adjustments on that amp when I use it. I'm kind of a set it and forget it kind of guy. Let's see. And Thunder Falcon said DigiTech Bad Monkey brand new for $55. Guy at music store found 3 in a drawer, forgotten about for years. Not a bad price for that pedal. I turned my I remember I turned my nose up at that like I did just about anything DigiTech for years, and then I finally got over myself. Or I found one real cheap. I heard some guys talking about it once and saying it was actually a really kick-ass overdrive pedal, and they had talked about nabbing them up, and at that time, I mean, I bought mine for $25. So, now they're going for a lot more than that. $55 is probably a pretty sweet deal, especially for one brand new in the box, new old stock, I guess is what they would call that. Yeah, that's a great overdrive pedal, great tube screamer circuit. I like that pedal a lot. Also, they also have a blues driver equivalent in that line called the Screamin' Blues. I've done videos on both of these. The Screamin' Blues is awesome if you like blues driver circuits. Let's see. Big Cole says, sweet, I forgot about Boston. See where Nita Strauss had her stolen. I did not know that she had hers stolen. I know she's a big Boss endorser. She's a big proponent of the the GT1000 core. She's traveling all over the world, and that's her rig. I mean, that's what she uses for live for most live events. Right now, especially as much as she's traveling, globally. Internationally, it's just she's a big advocate for that thing. That sucks though that she got her stolen. I'm sorry to hear that. Like whenever you see her playing, like national anthem, whatever it is at Rams games at SoFi Stadium out in LA, usually she's just piping that GT1000 core into the PA, going straight to the soundboard. Scott Gilly says, here you go, Robert, here's a new question to your watcher. Okay. Maybe it's further down in the chat. Ryan Hall still looking for compressors. I mean, if I mentioned earlier, I'm not a big compressor guy. If I were, usually I recommend people check out the Keeley, what's now called the Keeley Compressor Plus, which is the Keeley 4-knob compressor. It's been around forever. That's still probably the best compressor on the market. If you don't, it's $150-$160 or something. The Boss, the old-fashioned Boss CS3 is still pretty popular. You can find that one on the used market pretty cheap all over the place. And the MXR stuff is good. I was just talking earlier. They've got one, I don't remember the model number, but they've got like a Dynacomp Deluxe, I think is what it was, for $129. Looks like a pretty good bang for your buck. Paul Ewing, he's oops late at rehearsal on break. It's not late if it's not scheduled, and these aren't scheduled. I just kind of sit down and hit turn on the camera and hit go live, and that's pretty much how this works. I'm not a real big formal guy with this stuff. There it is. Scott Gilly says, if coffee is a bean, then why can you not make soup with the bean? I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, technically, if you soaked it long enough, I imagine you probably could. Most beans will dry out real hard, like a coffee bean will. But fun fact, peanuts actually are not nuts. Peanuts. The peanut is a bean. Let's see. Coffee soup. And from hola, Robert, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien. Sí, señor, muy bien. Let's see. What are your listings under? If you're talking about my for sale listings, it'll just be under my name on Facebook. Honestly, I don't know how to tell you to search for them. I'll see if I can. Once I get everything listed on Reverb and eBay, I'll post links on. Facebook and probably in the community tab on YouTube as well, if you guys want to check them out. Will Meyer says, do you think the old DoD effect series will go up in price? They already have. We've got Josh Scott to thank for that. He did that video a few years ago on the what he referred to then as the Lamb series pedals, and what have now since become known as the Lamb series pedals. Again, thanks to that video. And there's a lot of cool pedals, but really good sounding pedals. In that particular video that a lot of people had long since forgotten about, and now all of a sudden they're starting to come back down again. But for a while, they're you can't find any of those pedals listed for sale anymore anywhere. But when you do see them now, they're starting to they're a couple $100 at least. A few of them are more than that. Like the meat box is already worth a lot, but like that one in particular is still $300, $350. So yeah, and then even some, like even now, I think you're even starting to see like the reissues of like the 250 overdrives starting to go up, like the reissues even. So yeah, DoD prices have already increased a lot. FX series has doubled in price in the last year. Yes, it has. I used to, at least depending on the model. I've been on the lookout for for an icebox chorus for a long time. And you used to be able to find those things for like $50. I never really looked that hard because I knew I'd, want them to turn up about $50 eventually. Now they're $150. Cheap bastards. Alex2112 says, Robert, do you think a full-tone Deja Vibe Mini for $200 is a good deal? I don't think overpaying for any full-tone pedal right now is a good deal unless you just absolutely got to have it. I mean, people are trying to get stupid money for full-tone pedals because right now there's this, there's this bullshit fear going on that they're not around and, they're never going to be made again. What's out there is it. They're going to be real limited. People are going to start hoarding them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. Bullshit. Eventually, and I have it on authority, a few companies are already making inquiries. But eventually somebody's going to buy the name and possibly buy all of the buy more either at least the name and the design, the intellectual property, and start making them again, or they might buy the whole kit and caboodle of the factory and the payroll, the equipment, and everything, and just keep it going that way. Despite what Mike Fulton said, Mike Fuller said, in his announcement. Despite that, when he said, this is going to be it, we're not doing this anymore, et cetera, et cetera. Some bullshit. Somebody's going to come along and throw enough dollar signs at him. He's going to bite. He's going to have to because, honestly, he trashed his reputation with his, some of the statements that he made publicly a few years ago, and it's. He hasn't come out and admitted it or anything, but it's widely speculated that the reason that he decided to shut everything down is because his business tanked because he pissed off everybody in the guitar community. So he's gonna eventually he's gonna need to take what he can get. So. And when that happens, we'll have full-tone pedals again. So, my opinion, a Deja Vibe Mini for $200, don't touch it. That's, somebody's fucking ripping you off and you're going to be pissed that you paid that much for it. Unless you can sell it for more. Or unless you just absolutely have to have it. And, then, like I said, that's a decision only you can make. No audio. Yeah, I know I fixed that already. Et cetera. Fixed that already. Talking amongst yourselves, et cetera. Just sync them up to Dark Side of the Moon. Alex2112 says Robert's not bringing the sound back until you guys hit the tip jar. Well, I'm certainly not going to complain about that if you guys do. Like I said, I gotta buy an overpriced turkey this week. Robbie Stingles says, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Yes, it is. Greatest Christmas movie ever. That is a Jackson household tradition. Never heard any audio about your 900. Got that fixed. You could have been giving us the secret to cold fusion one. Bought Bad Monkey on your recommendation. Very happy with it. Cool. I like hearing when people buy stuff on my recommendation. They're happy with it. William De Silva's here. Hey, Robert, I'm working and lurking, but wanted to say hello. What's up, dude? Paul Ewing says, "Trust me, I have a lot of compressors, even really pricey ones, but the Keeley compressor plus beats them all and not pricey." Bart Kingery says, "I found a new Effects American medal. I haven't seen one of those in a while." Amelt Man, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. What do you think of Fluff's free amp sim? If you're the shit, I can't remember the name of the company. I don't use amp sims very often. That said, if you're talking about the one I think you're talking about, the free one that he put out a few years ago, and again the ML Sound, I think is the name of it, the name of the company. That it's actually really good. I think they sound kick ass. They did a really, really good job on those amp sims. Like I said, I don't use them enough to justify spending the money on the rest of them, but the free one is a good addition to have. Let's see. William Silva says, "I beg to differ. Lampoon's Christmas Vacation." Nope. Good. A solid contender. No doubt about that. But better than Die Hard? Hell no. John Gilly says, "First I've heard of Voltone pulling the plug. Where can I catch up on the past and current what's going on?" Where did they post it? Is their website still up? Let's see. Full-tone musical products. Not much. Nothing there. Just a logo, and that's it. Let's see here. Full-tone going out of business. Josh Scott. That's Josh Scott's take on it. There we go. All right, there's a link in the chat here from a Music Radar article about it from when was this? August 25th. That's about right. So that ought to get you caught up. Paul Ewing says Full-tone is still open for 2 more weeks, and if he has it, you get it, and with a discount. Yeah. According, there's nothing on their website. I mean, there's no way to buy direct from them on their website. I don't know how he's. I thought any of his remaining stock was going to go to whichever his dealers were left. So personally, I think I'm happy that. I mean, I'm not happy he went out of business, but as soon as somebody else buys it, and I'm 96% sure that it's going to happen. As soon as that, hopefully as soon as that happens, it'll be, another established distributor of some kind, and they will, we'll start seeing Full-tone pedals back in more retailers again. They've been a little bit harder to come by since their relationship with Guitar Center went south.
Robert, you got sound back. Anyone mentioned Solar has a sale on? Grabbed at NG. NG has a new guitar. I did not know Solar had a sale going on. I just recently found out last week or two that they have a new pedal. I don't know. Let's see what's going on their website. Solarguitars.com. Is that it? I have no idea if that's for, yep, looks like it. Solar Guitars. Maybe. Broadcast. Nope, that's not it. Solar Guitars. Solar-guitars.com. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they now have a pedal section on their website that has one pedal, the Chug. What's that thing selling for? 200 euros? Let's type A, B. Artist series, they got a lot of cool stuff. Etc. Let's try shit. I don't know. How about let's type A. Let's do type S. What the hell? I don't know the differences between most of these, but type S, $8.99. Those are all in euros. $16.99. A few of them I see that are marked down. All right. I've got Die Hard 1, 2, and 3. Also like Predator. Predator movies are cool, but but when you're talking Christmas movies, you ain't beating Die Hard. Let's see. Gear Junkie 35 is here. Cool Guitar Gear is here. Not sure if anyone asked you about the new Eventide H90 harmonizer. I've had a few friends that have asked me about it and what I can sell them for. Beyond that, I've seen a couple of demos, from when they were announced, and it looks pretty sweet. But it looks pretty kick-ass actually. Those are gonna sell quick. Eventide's good stuff. Gear Junkie 35 is, in my opinion, Cortec will buy the brand. I don't know, man. I kind of think that because I don't think that they're not just gonna be able to just purchase it from the patent office. Near as I can tell, Mike Fuller still has still owned all the rights and everything to it. So, he's going to have to be the one to sell it. And I strongly, unless they just throw a shit ton of money at him, a gigantic offer that he can't refuse, I think that he is going to be real reluctant to sell it to a company outside the U.S. So I think it's going to be another American company that buys it. Now, what that company does with production once they buy it, I don't know. But I think the company itself, Cortec is, they're in Indonesia, I think. At least that's where their factory is. I think you'd be reluctant to sell it to somebody like that. John Gilly says, as long as Wampler can clone full tone, we'll all be just fine. I suppose Brian's not real big on cloning other pedals, though. I don't think that's going to happen either. He honestly, he doesn't. He seems to be. I've heard him say, like on his podcast and stuff in the past, even he's reluctant to, even to put out like a V2 of a lot of his pedals, just because. I don't want to repeat because I don't want to misquote him, but he's reluctant to do that. He would, to him, he would just rather come out with a new model. So I don't think that's who it's going to be either. As long as the difference between pedals is one resistor and or a capacitor, and voila, it's a new circuit, therefore a new pedal. The new pedal game will go on indefinitely. Much to our tone chasing heart's content. Yep. True stuff. True story there. Yeah, Dave L. Seems to agree with me. I doubt Mike Fuller would sell to Cortec. I assume he would insist on being American made. It made sense for DoD DigiTech because their factory was already making the pedals anyway. Very true. Josh Scott has demonstrated quite successfully over the last 2 years that for the most part, there were only 7 or 8 pedals, and now there are thousands of versions of those same pedals. True. And really for the, I mean, there's more than 7 or 8, but realistically, there's, overdrive circuits, overdrive pedals out there. I mean, there's really only, for example, anyway, there's only about, like you said, maybe 7 or 8 different types of overdrive circuits that are out there. It's been a while now since somebody has come out with something new. Jim Dunlop could buy it. He is set to make endless brands. Well, Jim Dunlop's dead. As for whoever's buying his company now, or whoever's running his company now, I suppose they could. They're big enough, but he also, I think a lot of those pedals are made overseas. Number one, and number two, they've kind of got a new thing where they're coming out with their own version of a lot of famous pedals. Most recently they just came out with the Duke of Tone, a little miniature version. It's basically almost a 1-to-1 clone of the King of Tone, analog King of Tone pedal that nobody can get a hold of, or the Prince of Tone, whatever you want to call it. They've been doing a lot of that lately. They did one with the Timmy overdrive. They did it with the the Sugar Drive as their Klon circuit. They've done it with several, and they've all sold like hotcakes for them. So, they've got a pretty solid business strategy with that right now that's working for them. It is a much, much smaller investment than than buying full tone would be, I think. Scott Brockway says, well, there's more like a dozen pedals. Scott's a pedal builder, by the way. But there's infinite ways to achieve the same type of effect, and they all sound different. Some circuits are vastly different than others. Oh yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'm not a pedal builder. I'm not an expert. I just, all the overdrives, out there, again, using overdrive as an example, because it's what most people are familiar with. All the overdrives out there are, they're a tube screamer, they're a Klon, they're a blues driver, a blues breaker. What am I forgetting? OCD, and it's really about all I can think of. Those are pretty much your overdrive circuits. So, now again, as you mentioned, there's pedal builders, tweak and innovate and redesign a lot of things within those circuits, but that's For the most part, that's really the basis of where they start, you know. And then by the time they're done, you know, then you guys all seem to come out with something different altogether. So, So, good point, but he will have to sell it off to someone. But keeping USA will be difficult unless Josh Scott puts a bid in. That would be a legacy merger. That would be great. I don't know, man. I mean, Josh Scott is, you know, as respected as anybody in the pedal business, and I mean, it's certainly, you know, plausible that he could make an offer on it. You know, would it be a merger? I don't know. You know, the other thing I'm sure is probably going to want to be conscious of is, you know, Mike Fuller's reputation, you know, took a serious hit, and unfortunately that trickled down to his pedal brand, his pedal company. And, you know, if somebody buys that, how nuclear is that brand name still, you know? Because it went nuclear a couple years ago, and it's still lingering. You know, so whoever buys it also has to keep that in mind too. I mean, if somebody buys it, I mean, I don't, you know, I mean, I'm sure somebody will buy it for several $1 million, but I don't think it's going to be, you know, it's going to go for what it would have 3 years ago. Let's see, Thunder Falcon's out. John Gilly's out. Paul Ewing says there are only 7 topographies for overdrives. The Tube Screamer is used the most. Just use different diodes and give the pedal a goofy name. So the OCD is a hopped up Tube Screamer. I didn't know that the OCD was a Tube Screamer circuit, you know, because it always sounds different. I mean, I know it's of all those that I mentioned that I'm familiar with, it's definitely the heaviest gain sound as well. Scott Brockway says, no, it's not a Tube Screamer. A Tube Screamer is a soft clipper as opposed to a hard clipper that... I'm gonna let you guys argue about that because, like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to circuits. I mean, I know what circuits, you know, a pedal is based on, but, you know, after research and you know, beyond that, I really don't care. The only thing I care about is how it sounds. So it's closer to a distortion plus. Sweet. So. All right, well, it's been an hour 15, and you guys are getting quiet and starting to bounce to go carry on with your day. I've got a fair amount of stuff I need to do as well, so I'm going to go bounce and carry on with my day. So, see you guys. New video up tomorrow morning. Don't forget to check it out.